It always comes to this. More nice. Back again, doing another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I'd spoken about, but not quite showed off the inner bicep area slash down through my inner elbow region. We did the claw slash arm of the monster on my left arm with Brick, and the whole stretch of the inner bicep. So I had a big session last week. It was over 4 hours, and today I think it was just about an hour. So what goes up must come down kind of thing, and not really a big deal. I don't really mind. It's totally fine to have longer sessions sometimes and shorter sessions other times. I believe I'm going to be having a bit of a longer session here. Well, probably 3 hours. I think it's probably going to take between 2 and 3 hours to redo my 2 armpit tattoos each side, and that's what I'm doing next. I had the week off with Terry, and I didn't mind that at all, to be honest with you. I haven't had a week off from working with Terry in quite a while, so I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I've been used to getting a lot done, like rapid fire here for the last little while. I've even had in the last few months a few situations where I've been back up to 3 sessions a week. So going back to just with Rick, it was like maybe a little demo of what it's going to be like, and not too long. Although I say that, it would be a long time for most people's thinking. I think I've got probably, when I think about it realistically, the rest of the year at least going 2 sessions a week now. I just gave myself a little breather because I was working pretty extensively on the full color tentacles over black. So with those done, it was like, oh, okay, well, I can take a quick break. And we got those done. I would say we got them done as fast as I was expecting, but I was expecting to be in that journey for longer than I was mentally, I think. I think we chopped through it pretty quick. And by the time they started showing up on my YouTube channel for non-members, they were already fully done. So that was nice. Plug for my membership on this channel. If you want to see where I'm actually at, I'm usually about 2 months ahead, at least for now. Sometimes I'm farther ahead than that. Currently, Remy Reacts is like 2.5 months ahead or something. I like to keep Remy Reacts really far ahead because sometimes Sarah and I don't have time to get down here and do it. Life gets busy, and it is the last thing I'm doing. So I'm a father first, work second, so it is what it is. If I don't have time to make them for a while, it's good to have a bulk of episodes done. So by the time this one comes up, this will be either the end of November or early December, and we're in early October here now. So anyway, I'll show off what I did here this time. We just did this small section here, which, believe it or not, was about an hour, and my skin was not loving it. I've had a lot of work done like in this area and then on the other side of it, so it's pretty shiny, and this will be ready to go when we come back next week. Rick and I are going to be working on the elbow region, which again is better than it ever has been. It's got that callus, but you can see the line work and the color for the most part has held up. So we have a decent base to work from. There are some things that have been bugging me for a little while now. This section in here is behind par or below par for what I want. Everything else back here is looking pretty good, but obviously can be shored up. But the main beats, the main things I want to focus on next time are this section right here, which has very little texture compared to everything around it. Shoring up those little spots will make a big difference. And hopefully we can get a little more color in the elbow. What happens with this thing seems to be like immediately we get a benefit from it, a big benefit, and then over the next few weeks to months we kind of slide backwards, but still maintain some of the progress. And again, it's been the same thing for this. Like here you see I have the same callus. The coloration just isn't as affected by it. A lot of it is in yellow anyway. So I've had people say, oh, well, your other elbow stuck better. It's like, it kind of did, right? Like it's better, but you can see that the lime weight is smashed. So that callus hasn't influenced the black as much here as it has over here. But where a lot of this was done in yellow or at one point white, it was more forgiving of the callus, right? Better choices color-wise have been made, you could say. Well, I've got this arm up. This will be the first armpit that we're doing. I expect, probably 2 to 3 hours, because I want to totally redo it, which will mean obviously relining it. And the line is stood up. It's just that there's been so much color done around it that whenever you're smashing color, tons of color in over time, some of it's going to spread and it's going to ding up against that line. And by now it's just time to do this. I had thought perhaps I would do the background first and not the armpits. I was a little apprehensive to tell Rick that I wanted Terry to do this. It's not because I don't trust Rick to, or because I think Terry will do a better job. In fact, I think that with this kind of stuff, I think Rick would actually probably do the better version of it. And so it is always possible that Rick and I will come back into the armpits and do some additional details and stuff in there. But for now, it's just about getting them where they are, but more punched out. So right now, they're just a bit too far backwards where we've done so much in and around, and especially with things like the new tentacles, all of the work on these sleeves, neighboring them, and the spider eyes being much punchier than they were. Everything is standing out much more than the armpits are currently, and where they are feature pieces, I want them to be standing out more. So it isn't to say that Rick will never do any more on my armpits. It's just for now, to have them in keeping with the rest of my work, they need to be gone into and done again. And I don't really want to take a week off working on my arms, so I'd rather stay focused on it. We're getting through it. So again, happy with everything, how it's looking up here. There may be a little bit more to do here, bringing the texture that we established down here up here a little bit more, but for the most part we're getting there. And even though this session was a small one, this was probably the weakest point other than the elbow on my entire arm. Rick has been apprehensive with my ditch. It started getting snarly with him today. He wasn't feeling very great today. Again, he's on good days, bad days ever since he broke his leg. So I was actually surprised it even came in. So the fact that we only did an hour isn't a big deal, especially where we did so much last week. This is a marathon thing. You're going to have good days and bad days with it. That's life in general. And I don't really mind having a shorter session sometimes. Truth be told, I kind of didn't really want to come in myself today. So Rick and I were sort of in the same spot. But last week I wasn't really feeling the session either. And that week Rick was. So sometimes you just got to let it go, right? Like we did 4 hours, more than 4 hours last week in here. And the whole time I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this today. But it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm not going to have fun or I won't enjoy the thing. It's just, some days you'd rather be at home. I don't really take a lot of time to myself. Like, I don't really take a lot of time to relax and play video games or watch TV like a lot of people do. I'm a bit of a workaholic. I consider this stuff to be working in the same way I consider fitness to be working. So, for example, I don't really take rest days. I worked out this morning before my appointment. I worked out yesterday. I worked out the day before. I'm going to work out again tomorrow, I maybe take a rest day if I'm feeling really sore, but I generally at least do cardio, even the day that I'll get tattooed. The evening of, I'll do some light cardio, whatever. I don't really ever sit and do nothing. That doesn't happen very often. So there are days when I don't want to do as much, and I still show up. Those are the days sometimes you need to do it more. I've said this before, but I feel like in life, the days when you least want to do the thing you know you should do, those are the days you need to do it the most. So doing things like last week, doing the 4 hours on here and getting all that work in there, and it healed up great. I wasn't able to show off how it looked fresh last week on the actual video, but you've seen clips. This all healed up really, really well, and the amount of detail that's in there now is quite frankly insane, let alone over black. So that's where I said I think that sometimes the better approach would be to have Rick do these things, but for now it's just about getting them clear and focal again. With that said, I'm looking forward to working with Terry again. I've got a couple of big weeks coming up. I think they're going to make a big drastic difference. The next 5 or 6 weeks, there's going to be a rapid transformation of the whole front, and I'm looking forward to it. So, though it was nice to have the week off, I'm ready to go again. Full steam ahead, tackle this thing. And I'm really excited to get back to work on my back as well, which has had a few months to rest now, probably 3 months since I've worked on it or more. Whatever we do to it now will be a lot more well received than the diminishing returns we were likely to encounter if we had have kept working on it straight back to back like we were. It was important to do that early on because we got the established kind of piece in there, and now we can come back and really get some highlights and high points and brighter colors in places where we want them. In particular, I think that the blue background is due to go again almost entirely. I think that if we do a third pass on the blue background, simply because the blues have been hesitant to take, just in general, they're a hard one over black for us, it seems like. The reds and yellows go in really easily. Some of the blues are a little bit harder. So, yeah, I also want to potentially brighten up the colors on the chest piece. I know I said it was over. Don't ever trust me when I say that, as we come to find out. It's just that I think that some of the greens that we use in this tentacle can be employed in this chest piece. And so it won't be like a rehaul of the colors. It'll just be, it'll be benefited by what we've learned working on tentacles, is what I'm trying to say, and brought in line with the brighter colors that we have down there. And realistically, most people probably expected that anyway, so it's probably no shock. Especially since I'm getting to the end of the torso updates. It's in keeping with everything else to go back and revitalize the chest, or to keep it in line with the progression we've had on the tentacles, so it shouldn't be really that much of a shock. And again, not much of a change either, just kind of a buffer. You know, you look at videos from a few months ago before we'd done the session on the brain here, and it's a big difference. It's just, since it's the same thing, just better, it doesn't seem that dramatic unless you compare side by side. Similarly, I want to do one more pass on this guy and the back of my neck. I'll do that in the same session, just because they're both smaller. Those have been done twice, and we already know that third passes do a world of good for color on black, and I think that will make a dramatic difference. So that'll be in the white and the red. I don't know how much the black needs to go again, but we'll see. Probably just redo them fully and have them be as focal as everything else has become. So yeah, some cool things coming up here, and looking forward to most of that. But yeah, again, this one wasn't a big session, and that's okay. For the whole continuity of the arm together, it does bring the ditch more in line, and again, we have more to do in the ditch yet, but that's okay. We'll get to that another day. I think Rick wants to let all of this shit heal up quite a bit now. It's getting a little bit worked the last few weeks. So the elbow, however, we haven't touched in a while, and Hopefully we can get a little bit more color under that callus and have a little less of this fucking shine that's ruining every fucking video. Because, again, it's all in there. It's just that fucking callus is a real bugger. I don't know exactly what to do about it. It might just be one of those things because it's on both of them. So, yeah, callus is a pain in the ass. It's the worst thing I've encountered in all of my tattooing because I have those spots on my thumbs as well. And wherever I have those, it's part of why I haven't got full saturation on my palms, is because those calluses will always show through. If I had full black palms and these shiny yellow spots, that would drive me up the fucking wall. It's already driving me up the wall with my elbows, so yeah, little bugbears. Anyway, I'll be talking to you guys here in a couple days. Have a great day.